We're here in Montreal at COP15, where in the wee hours of last night, nearly 200 nations agreed on a global framework to protect nature.
I do not see objection. The package is adopted.
Nat, how are you feeling today?
I think we got a good deal. It's not a tremendous deal, but it's a good deal. And there's a lot we can work with, a lot that nations around the world can work with to reverse nature destruction.
So here is the good and the bad. The good. The biggest, most critical part really of this agreement is the mission statement, which says that we will halt and reverse nature loss, what we call nature damage, by 2030. That is the cornerstone of this agreement, and that's what the nations of the world now need to deliver, and that will put us on a pathway to a nature positive world by 2050. What else is good, Nat?
Well, 30 by 30.
Two 30 by 30s.
There's two 30 by 30s. We're going to protect not only 30% of land and oceans, but 30% of inland waters and coastal areas. And that means rivers like the Murray-Darling Basin, our tremendous mangrove wetlands around the country.
Like Toondah Harbour?
Like Toondah Harbour.
And the other 30 by 30 is to restore 30% of degraded ecosystems around the world. And that's so important because we need to protect the places that are still intact, but we need to regenerate the places that we've already damaged.
And there's also good news for business. This agreement means businesses will have to report and disclose on their impacts on nature. That means telling you and me what damage they're doing to nature, so we can put pressure on them to set good targets.
And the other big thing around business and money is that the nations agreed to end harmful subsidies to nature, which is basically governments using your money and our money to pay businesses to destroy nature. They are going to be phased out and ultimately eliminated, and that will free up a lot of money to invest back in nature regeneration.
And the bad. We're going to protect 30% of the planet, but what about the other 70%? Governments weren't able to set hard targets for how we're going to reduce the impact our production and consumption is having on nature. So there's a lot of work for us to do there.
And that's so important because we have to change the way that we produce food, and that will be driven through those goals that are no longer in the document. The other bad, possibly the worst thing about this whole agreement is it doesn't set any urgency or timelines to end extinction of wildlife and extinction of ecosystems. It has a 2050 goal that's 28 years away, so the nations are telling us that they're happy for extinction to occur for another 28 years. And we know species like the koala do not have 28 years. We're really proud of Australia because Australia fought very hard, and our Minister Tanya Plibersek fought very hard to put urgency of ending extinction now in the document. Ultimately, it wasn't enough, but we do have that goal back at home. Australia has agreed no more extinctions from now on. That is a commitment of the government. We need to turn that into reality. Nat, we need
strong laws that actually protect nature, and we need money on the table.
So that's our job next year. For now, au revoir from Montreal, and thank you for all your incredible support for nature.